This is Global Digest think tank group. We are discussing global issue and all kind of global problem. Before we start our discussion, Jeff, why don't you introduce about yourself to our audience? Please, Jeff.
Yes, thanks for having me. I'm Jeff Scoop. I'm the founder of Beyond Barriers, which is an organization that's dedicated to countering violent extremism. We help off-ramp people, disengage and de-radicalize them from various extremist movements across the country.
I see. So Jeff, you said you are working for National Socialist Movement. What do you mean, National Socialist Movement? Because American is supposed to be a liberal democracy, isn't it?
That's the National Socialist Movement is actually my past. In the past, I was running that organization, and that was actually a neo-Nazi organization. I was with that for a very long time. Now I help people get out of that type of movement. But I was involved in that for running that organization for 25 years.
I see. So we will discuss more detail, if possible, on later on. Your Beyond Barriers. What is your organization activity?
So we help people leave extremist organizations. So we help them to leave hate groups. We help people leave far right, far left, religious extremism, cults, gangs, things of that nature. And we work in peace building, trying to bring people together and unite people.
I see. So you are yourself is a Christian, or what is your religion? Yeah.
I don't really get into the religious aspect of things too much because sometimes religion, people fight amongst themselves over religion. So I keep that to home and family and just try to work to bring people together in general.
I see. Because people used to know American is used to be Protestant country because they were persecuted by Catholics in Europe. Then they run away to America. That's what we know about American history. Maybe nowadays it may be different atmosphere. So you are saying about far left and far right, and all this your organization against such kind of beyond far left, far right extremism, right? So what is your definition of extremism? Violent extremism. Example, you have any cases, any experiences?
Yeah, so we have a lot of cases of extremism. So basically, somebody that's involved in the very far extremes of the movement. So like on the right, you would have your neo-Nazism, white supremacy. On the left, you might have your far left extremists. But basically, people that are getting involved in or promoting violence, promoting hate, promoting intolerance of others. These are typically your extremist movements. Even with the religious extremists, they might not tolerate other religions as well.
So can you tell us recently or the most significant your organization activity about your activity so people can know more about your organization?
So some of what we're doing, is that what you're asking?
Yes.
So some of what we do kind of behind the scenes is helping people leave those organizations, but more outright and other work that we do is I work with the Simon Wiesenthal Center. We do talks in schools about combating hate and racism. We do community forums where we try to bring people together. I've spoken at interfaith conferences where you have all different religions and groups of people coming together. A lot of inner city school talks, everything from middle school to high school to college, to try to reach people and educate them that our greater humanity is the tie that binds us all. It's what brings us all together, and we shouldn't be fighting amongst each other over things like religion or politics. We have more in common than we do different.
I see. So, example, if I'm not wrong, can we say the far right movement is Trump, pro-Trump, or make American again, something like this?
I don't really classify that. I don't classify that as far right or extremism. It just depends on who you ask on that. I personally don't consider.
In 2021, there was violence against at the Capitol. They are climbing on the wall, and they also disturbing the Congress, and it's very very risky at the time about those activities. You did not classify those things as extremism, or how do you consider it?
Well, that's a good question. So I do classify that the January 6th thing is extremism, and what happened there is definitely extremism. I'm just very careful not to lump Trump supporters or Republicans all into that extremist category, because that would not be accurate. So half the country votes Republican, half the country votes Democrat. They're not all extremists. Now, some people can take things to the extreme, and certainly what happened on January 6th was could be classified as extremism. Yes, for sure.
See. By the way, I think your organization is not political organization, right?
You're right. You're right. Yes. What I used to do was political many years ago, but
Which
what
party you used to do?
when I was with the National Socialist Movement, that was political. That was far right
It is
extremism.
Democratic affiliated or Republican affiliated?
Neither. It was its own movement. But what I do now with Beyond Barriers is nonpartisan. So we're trying to bring people together. So we don't affiliate necessarily specifically with Republicans or Democrats. We try to stay in this middle area, and to bring people together, because in the country you've got too many people that are way on the far right or way on the far left. You can be right or left, but you should be somewhere in the middle here and not out on the extremes. And with the work that we do at Beyond Barriers, it's really important that we are nonpartisan, that we are not political in that sense, because it's more helpful to bring people together in that way. It doesn't mean people can't have political opinions. We all have political opinions, but in the work that I do, I try to keep it nonpartisan as possible.
So, can you tell us how big your organization is? There a lot of people membership, and it's very popular in America?
Beyond Barriers?
Yes.
Well, it's not a membership organization. It's basically just a group that helps people to it helps in peace building, and it helps get people out of extremist groups. So it's not like a membership type of organization.
Let's see. It's a kind of NGO. Can we say like that?
Yes, a nonprofit. It's a nonprofit, 501c3 nonprofit.
Let's see.
Yep.
So you are still a leader of Beyond Barriers?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. That would be accurate. Yes.
So how can you compare with, American national American socialism movement, and compared to international socialism movement? Usually we know internationally socialism is a Russian based socialism, because Russia is the most promoting socialism around the world, and all communists and Russian are more or less, they are similar. So are you going to in to the Russian socialism club, or what is your organization in compared to international socialism?
You're asking about my past.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, in the past, the National Socialism was neo-Nazism. So we were fighting the communists and against the communists when I was involved in that world. So it was more neo-Nazism, like the German National Socialist World War II era. So communists were considered the enemies.
But Germany is no more communism, they already changed to be liberal democracy, and there
Right.
are no any significant communism in Germany. And I don't know, I never heard communism movement or the strong popularity of communism in America. So what it makes sense, you are against communism in because there are nothing at all in America history. So far I know, if I'm not wrong.
No, the communist movement in the United States was never capable of taking over, and neither was
Right.
the Nazi movement. But these are subcultures or sub organizations that hope to get into power and do these types of things. So I was involved in far right activities so I was fighting with people on the far left, and that was in my past and in my old life. Now I'm working to bring people together and try to heal humanity.
I see. So probably you against capitalism, can we say like that?
Before, in the past, not now.
Because capitalism is they are undermining a lot of socialism, equality, or social welfare of the society. So usually, if we against capitalism, there is alternative socialism. So you are pro socialism, mean you prefer American people to have better social welfare or such kind of thing.
Well, like I said, John, I try to stay clear of politics because I feel like it distracts from the mission that I'm trying to do in bringing people together. So I was involved in politics for a very long time. I try to kind of steer clear of it now. I try to stay away from the politics.
The usually political study in international politics, left wing is usually we consider socialism, communism, all those things are left wing, and democratic and liberal democracy usually we consider as right wings in international politics. In America, if we see in America, Democratic Democratic Party is more socialism, and Republican is more uh, right wings. They are more liberal. So liberal, I mean conservative. So probably if you consider as you are lean on the socialism and left wing, you may be closer with the Democratic Party. Isn't that?
I really hesitate to say on that because I don't want to be part of that divide that we're facing in the country. So like if you ask me like on a personal level, I feel very liberal on some things and very conservative on others. So I don't really align with either party 100% because on the right they have some good ideas and on the left they have some good ideas. So I don't fall into either category. I try to find the good in each, and I think there's negative in each too. And it's just unfortunate that there's so much division and polarization right now in the country.
But at least according to yours, you based on socialism mean you are pro social welfare for the American people, isn't it?
Well, you're asking about my past though, right? Or are you asking
Yes.
about current in the past, the
Do you do you,
socialism?
do you prefer for social welfare, a better social welfare, or like Obamacare and other social welfare program? Did you prefer, or what is your movement opinions?
From in the past, right?
Current also.
Oh, current. Well, I mean, I feel like in the past the ideology was aligned with Nazism, so that's where their belief system was. But currently, I think anything that we can do to improve the country, to improve the structure, is certainly a positive move in the right direction.
What about healthcare? What is your opinion?
Healthcare is an important thing because everybody should have the right, in my opinion, everybody should have the right to healthcare. You shouldn't be refused service at a hospital just because you can't afford it. Everyone should be entitled to equal healthcare. It should be a universal human right.
I see. So, as you said, you are Nazi, neo-Nazi mean, probably, I don't know, by the way, your ancestors belong from Germany or something like that?
In the past, yeah. So I was an American Nazi, so that's what I was involved in for a very long time. But I don't adhere to that ideology any longer. Yes.
I
My
see.
mother and grandparents all came over from Germany.
So you don't support Nazi, right?
Not now. I used to for a long
Why?
time.
Why you support Nazi? Because of German descendant?
That was part of it. That was what got me interested in it, was because my grandfather fought in the German army during World War II. He fought in Hitler's army, and my great uncles did as well. So that was the fascination with that aspect of history. And then I got involved. I joined the organization, and then started hating people, dehumanizing people, and got caught up in a very negative environment and negative cause for a very long time. So that's why I work in human rights now, and bringing people together in with Beyond Barriers is because I have had that lived experience, so I'm able to understand why people do that, why they get involved in that, and also how to help them to leave that.
Right. So, as you know, the uh, former President Trump is also German descendant, you know. So I don't know, you are not in line with Trump, or your organization opposite to Trump. Can we say like that?
I can't say either way. That's a tough question, because the thing is I don't say negative things about Trump, and I try not to say negative things about Biden either. I want to bring people together, so I see the good. I see the good in all people, and try to look at it from that way. So I don't. Um, each individual has their issues and then their problems, but I try to bring people together. So you're not going to get me on the political questions.
I see. I mean, because of your organization is a kind of political organization, you know, National Socialist Movement. Mean, do you ever compete for election, the National Socialist Movement group?
I want to be clear that when I was involved in the National Socialist Movement, yes, I was involved in politics, and yes, there was people running. Sometimes people ran for office. They only got small percentages of the vote, but I'm not involved in that anymore. I just want to make that clear.
So, by the way, you have no choice. There is only two options in American politics. Either you belong to Republican or you have to belong to Democratic. So, where you will be voting, which party you are going to vote, because there is no choice. Your party cannot make, uh, the significant popularity. So only two options.
Well, I mean, there is more than two options, but you're right. Only realistically, Democrats or Republicans are the main ones that are getting elected. It's not the minor parties. There's libertarians, there's National Socialists, there's communists, there's all these other minor parties and independents, but they don't typically get into office. It's usually Democrats or Republicans. So that's you're kind of right in that sense that that's the main choice that Americans have right now, is to be aligned with one or the other of those two parties.
which party you used to vote for?
When I was involved in the National Socialist movement, I usually didn't vote. We didn't if I did, it was usually more right leaning candidates.
Right, mean Republicans.
Yeah, sometimes it really depended because a lot of the times I just didn't vote. But and a lot of the people didn't, but a lot of times I'm going to be very careful how I word this, but yes, a lot of times people would vote for the Republicans because it was more right leaning, but there was also a lot of disagreement with the Republicans, and we didn't you know, a lot of people in the media would ask when I was involved, you know, like, oh, you guys all like Trump and that when I was involved in the National Socialist movement. But the truth was that a lot of the Nazis did not like Trump. He was very close to Israel. He did more for Israel than any other US president ever. So so there was a lot of people that didn't like him. Now I work for a Jewish human rights organization. I work with the Simon Wiesenthal Center as a consultant and public speaker. So I work with everybody.
So it will be more closer to the Republican, I guess.
I didn't understand
I
the
mean,
question.
Jewish society will be more favored for Republican because Trump also, you know, connection with Jewish. So
I'm hesitant I'm hesitant to say where I line politically because I'm trying to bring people together, you see. So
yeah,
I don't like to I don't really like to answer that. I agree with some things on the right, and I don't mean extreme, but some right leaning things and some left leaning things. That's probably the best way I can explain it.
according to my view, your personality, your personal choice is different, and your organization ideology is different. Usually, socialism is a left wing. It should be supposed to be closer to the left Democratic Party, but I see your personal choice more right Republican Party. So it's a kind of contradiction, we can say. That's up to your own choice. So that is in American politics. How do you see the upcoming election in America? How you will be involving, and is there any chance for winning or your participation of politics?
Well, like I said, I'm not involved with the National Socialist movement anymore. And I haven't been since early 2019. So I don't
You
really,
still work for Beyond Barrier, right?
yeah, Beyond Barriers is what I do. Yes. So in that sense, it does not align with either Republicans or Democrats. It tries to stay neutral. It tries to stay in the middle and bring people together. So as far as the upcoming elections, you know, I don't I'll go out and vote, I'm sure, but I'm not saying who I'll vote for.
I see, right. So what's your goal, your future goal, your Beyond Barrier? What's you're planning to do?
Well, I mean, what we're doing right now, and I'd like to keep doing more of that, is to basically help people, bring humanity together, unite people. It's okay with that we have different opinions on things, and even politically, and it's okay that people worship different ways or whatever religion they want to be a part of. But we just want to bring people together, help people. And I look at it this way: if we're off ramping, if we're taking somebody out of one of those, you know, hateful organizations that's promoting violence or promoting hate, and get that person on a better trajectory, a better path in life where they can do something positive with it, you know, that's really what the goal is not just to help that one person, but if that one person becomes the next mass shooter. We have all these problems with mass shootings in the country, and if
Right.
you know, if we stop something like that from happening, how many innocent lives are we saving? That's basically that's what motivates me. That's what helps me push forward to do this work is saving innocent lives, and that's what we want to do.
So you said you're engaging with Jewish society and working with them, and what else did you work with any other community like Asian American community or African American community or any any community you work with them? Anything else?
Yes, so we work with as I mentioned, Simon Wiesenthal Center, which is a human rights organization, around international human rights organization. We'll go into synagogues, churches, mosques, anywhere where we can talk with people, bring people together, interfaith meetings and conferences where all the different faiths come together and people try to work together to understand one another, facilitating conversations, having dialogue and civil discourse, educating, teaching people that, hey, we're all different, but that's okay. It's our humanity that unites us all. So even if we have differences politically, racially, religiously, those things are minor concerns. We need, we should be uniting as humans and coming together, and so that's basically the work that we're doing, and it's going quite well. So we work with a lot of different communities and bringing people together, anybody we can, really.
I heard recently in America, I mean, there is a high uh, hate Asian American, hate Asian population. How's your organization respond or uh, you're involved on that solving that issue, hate crime, something like that?
Yeah, so I was just last week, when you first contacted me, I was in New York City and I was speaking at hate crimes, excuse me, hate crimes prevention forums. We did 3 of those, and about a dozen, and we spoke at about a dozen schools for the combating hate program. So the community forums were for hate crimes prevention, is to address those things specifically, because hate crimes in the US is at an all-time high, and we're trying to address those things so it doesn't happen to anybody ever again.
See, so you are beyond barrier. Your organization is NGO. You got a federal government sponsor or something like that?
Not right now. We can apply for grants and things like that, but we've not been able to secure any. So the government has not been, the government's interested in the work that we're doing, but we need to get people to write grants and apply for those again. The last time we tried, we weren't able to get any. So most of it is being done out of our own pockets and from, donations here and there, but not very much. Most of it's coming out of our own pocket, and then our whole team our whole team is volunteers. Basically, we're just doing what we can in our free time when we're not working.
See, you should get, a good grant. Government should provide your organization a good grant because your activity is very good activity. So I mean, I cannot say why American aid, American grants sometimes is very difficult. The government grants are very difficult to say. They granted probably their preference organization that is sometimes not good, you know. So they should give grants to all, who are doing good activity or organization. They should give them, but politic things is they given to their preferred party or their preferred organization. So that is always problem in government grant. So by the way, you may notice our global digest also promoting liberal democracy around the world. I am a liberal democracy activist and we promote around the world beyond America. So in Asia and other places. We promote for liberal democracy. So it will be many ways we can. We have similar with your organization activity for liberal democracy, human rights, and freedom of the country and society. So also you may notice there was a military coup in Burma. Usually military is a left wing and extremist group. They are against freedom and against liberal democracy. Is there anything your organization can do for against military coup in Burma to return back to democracy in the country?
This was something I wanted to ask you. And so you have in Burma there, from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a ongoing genocide against the Rohingya people, and there's been a lot of, from what I understand, and like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, but our news over here is kind of limited on the international, on what we see internationally, but I try to watch foreign news when I can and get up to speed on it. But I do
It's a
understand
lot of human rights violation. It's true.
Yeah. So I think that needs to be addressed, and that people getting out in the streets and protesting for democracy, I think is important, and calling for those things, and not to allow anyone to be dehumanized or any sort of genocide to take place against the religious minorities there, like the Rohingya and other people as well that are being persecuted. Is that still ongoing there?
Right. A lot of human rights violation nowadays. After military coup in Burma, the whole country was, conflict, and the military indiscriminately they attack innocent people and violate a lot of human rights. They kill many innocent and a lot of abuse, human rights abuse in the whole country. It's happening in Burma. It's very unfortunate. So I invite you and your organization, as long as you can, support human rights movement in Burma and around the world.
I did speak in November. I spoke at the Nobel Peace Center in Oslo, Norway. And that was really amazing to reach out there. And I had some contact with Western governments on how to address these things, but I would certainly be I don't have a lot of contacts in Asia at the current time, but I think places like Burma, certainly could use our help on bringing people together, and I'm certainly open to that, and however we can be of assistance in any way, definitely. So I appreciate you reaching out.
Sure. I want to request you and your organization to support liberal democracy and human rights movement in Burma. Let the American people know how military dictator abuse human rights and against liberal democracy. And they kill a lot of innocent people and a lot of especially Christian believer. Most of them are liberal democracy. Christian used to be liberal democracy in Burma, and Buddhist is more left wing in Burma. So they attack our liberal democracy people by military government, and they kill a lot of innocent people, including Christian pastor and churches. So I want to request you and your organization, and let the American people know that Burmese people is under attack by the extremist military regime, and they abuse human rights. So if you can do as much as, and also we can cooperate each other with you and your organization, how to promote human rights and freedom around the world.
I agree. Yeah, 100%. And it's important that the people stand up, and anything we can do to assist on that, you can count on us. As we're talking to people on both the Republican and Democrat side, and we're trying to bring people together. And I've done a few talks with the OJJDP, which is the Office of Juvenile Justice. They work with getting educational things into schools and things of that nature, and the Justice Department, our branch of the Justice Department. So we do have some connections with the government over here. We've done in our role with the Simon Wiesenthal Center, we've done some law enforcement training things as well. So we help with training law enforcement so they know how to spot
Right.
extremists and things like that as well.
By the way, it's the most important thing is people, American people, you know. We have to make good cooperation between people to people, American people, Burmese people, Asian people, people to people. If government can support, it is much better. Basically, it's people to people, NGO to NGO, you know, like that. So we have to do a lot of human rights, freedom, liberal democracy around the world.